Hey everyone, welcome. Today we are diving into something that, let's be honest, affects pretty much every single one of us in India, the massive, ongoing battle against cybercrime. I want to start with a number that just kind of stops you in your tracks. 890%. That's the mind-blowing jump in financial losses from cybercrime in India between 2022 and right now, in 2024. This isn't just a small trend, it is an absolute explosion. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, that only happens to people who aren't great with technology, you really need to think again. What we're up against here is a super sophisticated criminal network that's targeting everybody. The old stereotypes, they just don't apply anymore. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to break it all down. First, we'll get a handle on just how big this threat is. Then we'll dissect how these modern scams actually work. After that, we'll look at India's defenses, arm you with a personal playbook, and finally cover the one thing you absolutely must do if you get hit. Okay, let's dive right in and really try to understand the sheer scale of what we're talking about here. So that 890% increase, what does that actually look like in real money? Well, it looks like this. Over 22,800 crore rupees gone, lost to cyber fraud just this year in India. It's a staggering amount of money, and it shows you just how big this criminal industry has become. But here's the thing you have to understand. Behind these huge numbers are some very clever, very personal psychological traps. You see, these scammers aren't just hacking computers anymore. They're hacking our brains. They use our own emotions, fear, greed, trust, against us. Let's take a look at exactly how they pull it off. So one of the most frightening scams out there right now is something called digital arrest. And honestly, this is just pure psychological warfare. They call you up pretending to be from the CBI, the police, some high-level authority, and their only goal is to create instant panic. And the way they do it is it's chillingly effective. It's a step-by-step process to isolate you and scare you. They'll accuse you of some horrible crime, force you onto a video call so they can watch your every move. They'll even show you fake ID cards and FARs to look legit. And then, once you're terrified, they demand money to make this whole nightmare go away. Okay, so listen up because this is the single most important thing you need to remember. No, and I mean no, legitimate Indian law enforcement agency will ever conduct an arrest or an investigation over the phone or a video call. It just doesn't happen. The second you get a call like this, your only move is to hang up. Just hang up. Then find the official number for that department yourself and call them to verify. All right, from fear, let's switch gears to another powerful emotion scammers love to exploit: greed. Fake investment scams are absolutely everywhere, and they often use slick, deep-fake videos of famous people to trick you into joining these WhatsApp or Telegram groups that promise totally impossible profits. And they're really clever about it. They play the long game. They'll get you to invest a small amount on their fake app, and they'll even let you withdraw some profits to make it seem real. That's how they build your trust. But once you feel safe enough to put in a really big chunk of money, that's when the trap springs. All of a sudden, you can't withdraw anything. They start demanding fake taxes or fees, and then poof, the app, the group, the scammers, they're all gone, and so is your money. So how do you protect yourself? It actually comes down to one simple check. Any legit broker in India has to be registered with SEBI. You can check this yourself really easily on their official scores portal. And a simple rule of thumb, if some amazing investment opportunity just pops up in a random social media group promising guaranteed returns, it's a scam, 100% of the time. Okay, this next one is genuinely terrifying because it's so personal. With just a few seconds of audio from a social media post, scammers can now use AI to perfectly clone the voice of your son, your daughter, your spouse. Then they'll call you, using that voice, faking a kidnapping or an accident, demanding money. It's a nightmare. But the best defense? It's surprisingly simple. Create a family safe word, a word that only you and your loved ones know. It's a low-tech solution for a very high-tech problem. So after all that scary stuff, I know what you might be thinking, but it is not all bad news. Not at all. India has actually been building up a pretty robust digital defense system, a kind of legal shield, to fight back and protect all of us. And you can actually see the evolution right here on this timeline. We've gone from the original IT Act way back in 2000 to the much stronger Digital Personal Data Protection Act and the new criminal codes in 2023. The laws are finally starting to catch up with the technology. And this DPDP Act, in particular, is a huge deal for you and me. It basically puts the control of your personal data back into your hands. It means companies need your crystal clear permission to collect your data, they can only use it for what they told you they would, and they have to protect it. It even gives you the right to have your data erased. That's powerful stuff. And it's not just laws on paper. There's real institutional muscle behind this fight, too. The Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, or I4C, is the main hub. It's their job to connect all the different police forces and agencies so everyone's working together to go after these criminals. Which brings us to the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle, what you can do. We've talked about the problem, we've talked about the system's defenses, now let's talk about your personal playbook to go from alarm to action. Look, some of this is going to sound like basic advice you've heard 1,000 times, but honestly, doing the simple things right is your strongest defense. We're talking strong, unique passwords for every single account. Please don't reuse passwords. Always turn on multi-factor authentication. And just never, ever click on weird links or share your OTP. Not with anyone, for any reason. Think of this slide as your built-in scam detector. Let's just run through these red flags. If it's an investment scam, the keyword is guaranteed high returns. That doesn't exist. If it's a loan app, watch out if it asks for permission to see your contacts or your photo gallery. Huge red flag. And for UPI scams, just remember this forever. You never have to scan a QR code or enter your PIN to get money, only to send it. All right, let's talk about the moment that nobody wants to think about, but everyone needs to be prepared for. Because even if you do everything right, you can still fall victim to a really sophisticated scam. And what you do in those first few moments is absolutely critical. This number, 1930, I want you to burn it into your brain. Maybe even put it in your phone right now. This is the National Cybercrime Helpline. If you realize you've just been scammed out of money, this is your first call. You have to be fast because time is everything if there's any chance of getting that money back. And right after you make that call, your next move is to go online to this website, cybercrime.gov.in. This is where you file an official complaint. Give them everything you have, screenshots, phone numbers, transaction IDs. The more information you provide and the faster you do it, the better the chance the authorities have to trace the money. So, I want to leave you with this question to think about. As our world just gets more and more connected, what is our single greatest defense? We have laws, we have police, we have technology, but maybe, just maybe, our best defense is us. It's our shared awareness, our collective vigilance, and our willingness to just look out for each other. Thanks for listening.